It's been over a year since the craft made the mistake of appearing before me and my video camera. A lot has been learned since. I could spend the next year making more diagrammed videos to show you what is above us, but many of you out there are already doing just that. But time is something that is not abundant. They're going to have to play their cards at some point. One is probably the Navy. We've heard reports that that branch has been hijacked, controlled by the United Nations, or the New World Order, the Illuminati, Anunnaki, rogue chickens, whatever you want to refer to them as. We've also heard of cloaked aircraft, some now using an electrified paint. The ones in charge certainly do not have our best interests in mind, and tend to have the capital to buy these types of toys. It is becoming clear that there is probably an unexpected force at work above, either in collusion with the military or working against them. I, and some of you for sure, have what are called skyfish, or solar entities, or flying rods in your videos. These things exist. But for me, no 9-foot bipedal squid has shown up at my door to say hi, so I cannot comment on the existence of aliens or their visitations, but I would be a fool to dismiss the possibility. I've read that these entities have been recorded as far back as 700 AD in China, and that they come in 3 shapes, one being a spear shape. I've also just seen the Argentinian rock carvings. I have to admit that I can see them now, in my photos and others' photos. But back to the military's role in all of this. Many videos out there spotlight the smaller craft. They are the easiest to pick out. But it's the big one that is key. That one was the hardest for me to find, but you'd think it'd be the other way around. It's their scale which is almost unbelievable. There are plenty of reports out there about other massive craft that take up acres of land. Acres. And if we can see them now, and know that they are there, so do the boys in brass, no matter who made them. Remember what I referred to as the shape, the back end of the large craft that gave it away. The sharp edges, the 90-degree angles. Does anything look familiar to you? Where have we seen this before? The F-117 and the B-2. Moreover, the large craft is similar to the shape of the SR-71. Haven't we heard of the continued development of the SR program? Remember the Phoenix Lights? The direct flyovers were never debunked. I've even heard Sean David Morton, one of the first people to study Area 51, describe a huge shovel-nosed craft above him at one point. Whether it's made of stainless steel, transparent aluminum, mylar, I think we're all looking at the same type of craft, whether made by humans or not. Moreover, I've stated before that I was able to define the shape of the large craft before I really had time to dig into the documents and descriptions to track down names. But in December 2000, projects brought to light. Don't say a blimp or a predator drone. They were the B-2 and the F-117 24 years ago. Though the F-117 was released in 1988, its first flight was 1981. That means it was developed in the 70s. So what have we seen since? A White Project F-22 or F-35? Please inform me. Or is this what they've been building for almost 30 years? About the sheer number of these systems worldwide. It seems like the U.S. started giving out or selling these types of aircraft to friendly foreign governments who supported American policy. That apparently started in the year 2000. So, either way, where's all the real stuff? What's been going on for the last 24 years of silence? And where did all the trillions and trillions of dollars go? Well, and what were all those underground tunnels out west used for? Growing mushrooms? Haven't we heard that those tunnels were so wide that 2 B-52s could fit in them, side by side? When you want to hide your production line from enemy satellites, and even your own people, you put them underground. Should I even go into cold fusion, pulse detonation engines, ramjets, Tesla coil energies, cloaking technologies, anti-gravity? No. But I do know this. Any alien spacecraft that shows up in our skies will not have this earthly, conventional propulsion system, such as this junk. For me, the military is playing a huge role in this mess, and maybe extraterrestrial ships have entered the atmosphere. But what I'm looking at is 1980s technology. To me, the smaller drones, bombs attached to the aircraft carrier are the newest and lightest and the most acrobatic modern aircraft. Isn't there a nationwide shortage on helium currently? If you're going to own the weather by 2025, you will have to own the lightning too, or just make some. Since my initial clues came from the lack of typical summer afternoon lightning and storms, I paid close attention to the few lightning storms I've seen in the last year, and I recorded them. Here's how it's done. The initial electrical charge comes from one of the large ships, probably generated by the fan/coil engine. The charge travels along its spine and electrified pathways onto the next craft behind it. This craft relays the charge to the next one, and so forth, until the charge is funneled to the smaller ships hanging lower to the ground. Boom. Pick a target. It was an act of God.
After watching 2 minutes of film, they're still only 1/3 of the way into a single flash of lightning.
As it continues down, we can see it's
Okay,
continuing to develop.
Going.
Continuing to develop downward as the flash goes on, and once it gets closer to the ground, it'll start accelerating.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can see it. You can see it how it goes slowly down, and now you have recoils.
Never before in history has it been possible to observe a flash of lightning in this much detail.
It was some interaction within the cloud.
Now we're getting close to the point.
It's beautiful. Oh, such a case.
And we'll see the.
Oh. Look, it's coming, 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 coming.
There we go. Now it's starting to brighten as it
Yeah,
accelerates.
it's coming, coming, coming. Boom! You have a return stroke now.
Yeah. So now we get the return stroke.
Beautiful.
And even after the return stroke, we get all kinds of strobing events continuing on afterwards, as well as a variation in the brightness of the main channel that form the return stroke. And the whole time we're looking at this bright channel, there's current flowing, and this is what brings the current to the ground, could cause heating and cause damage to
fire. You
and
can
fire
start fires.
to whatever it's connected to.
Wonderful, wonderful case. Ooh.
I've been wanting to present this video for quite some time. This was recorded 5 days after I saw the first craft for certain. It was game on at that point. I recorded a lot of video that month. During this period, they would show up at about 8 a.m. every morning, as they currently do. I tracked their clusters on the radar. Sometimes they would come from the west, sometimes southeast, and sometimes the north. This was facing west. As usual, I didn't notice the specifics until I sped up the video later. Watch the cloud on the right. I call this the locomotive formation for obvious reasons. The cloud material is ejected from the front of the large basecraft, the aircraft carrier. This material is churned by the smaller craft above it, creating the illusion of a natural cloud. Smaller craft fly in advance of the system, emitting their own material and obscuring the front of the main craft. They come in pretty low in this video. It has given me a chance to go back and detail out the smaller ships, which were identified before, but not fully fleshed out in 3D just yet. Once the smoke and mirrors are removed, this is what the formation looks like.
Чудо? Нет, не чудо, а закономерность, дорогие друзья. Изучайте достаточно общую теорию управления, становитесь умнее.
Техник 4.9, входите на курсовой скорости.
Принято, вхожу. Ты бы пристегнулся, Боб. Да и дрожать уже хватит.
Джек, не могу не отметить учащение вашего дыхания и сердцебиения.
Просто я рад наконец-то познакомиться.
В последнее время вы регулярно не выполняли приказы.
Да. И я об этом сожалею.
Голосовой анализ показывает, что вы лжете, Джек. Назовите цель своего прибытия. У вас 5 секунд.
Я спасу жизнь Юлии. И обеспечу выживание человечества. Вот для чего я здесь.
Посадка разрешена. Воздух для дыхания предоставлен. Добро пожаловать домой, Джек.
Можно. Ходим, так безопасно.
Я помогу.
Джек, ты поступаешь правильно.
Я не знаю, кто ты и откуда. Но я хочу рассказать тебе об одной книге. Об истории Древнего Рима. Вы ведь Рим уничтожили. Отличная книга. Там один парень по имени Гораций в одиночку бился с целой армией. Так вот, тогда Гораций сказал: и смерти нет почетней той.
Тебе не обязательно грозит смерть, Джек, и ей тоже.
Все умирают, Салли. Главное — умереть достойно.
Джек, это не тот человек, которого ты обещал привести.
Не тот, Салли. Так вот, Гораций сказал: и смерти нет почетней той, что ты принять готов. За кости пращуров своих, за храм своих богов.
Я создала тебя, Джек. Я твой бог.
Пошла ты, Салли.